Dangan Barrage.
Act 2.
I love the music in this. Like the ambience.
Cute. Well, you know, it's like very minimalistic soundtrack.
Yeah.
So it's just enough to set the mood.
Yeah.
Put a little gap between acts. I'm wondering if this is like a 3-act, you know, like a play.
Oh, it could be.
What do you mean you don't cook?
Winter shrugs and pours herself another glass of wine. Cigarette between her teeth. I just don't. If I eat proper food, I buy it. I like restaurant food. I look at her dumbfounded. She must be spending as much on takeout as I do on rent. No, she's spending more.
I feel so called out. I have a problem with ordering food. Anyways, how the hell do you afford it? That seems so lazy, or I'd miss cooking. How the hell do you afford it?
We aren't all broke PhD students, Red. I'm not that much of a stereotype. I only spend a day a week on studies. The rest is programming. No, you still got the stereotype. You should take it up, honestly. Pays great.
Really? You think I'm a stereotype?
We both are. That's the joke. Girls like us were broke, or we're programmers, or both. Or baristas, I guess, back when I first started transitioning. Maybe that's getting too personal.
She slowly waves a finger at me to tell me off.
Besides, you didn't come here to criticize my cooking, did you?
Well.
She shakes her head in mock disapproval. Tell me what we're doing this time. She takes a seat in the depths of her sofa and sips her wine, watching me.
So, and there's this girl.
That's you.
There's this girl. Tell her about Lily. Tell her about the girl in my lecture who sat next to me twice now and asked me out for coffee once. We haven't gone yet. It's tomorrow. And what do you want to do with her?
What do you want to do with her?
As I talk, we start our little dance again. I can't remember how many times it's been now. 6, 7 maybe. The memories of each visit are hard to pin down, just swifts of half-remembered truth. Touch. God. Winter lets me talk, and as I do, she performs whatever I say on my shadow, the fuzzy half feeling of it rippling through me as if muffled through cloth. She never seems self-conscious as I tell her things to do, never questions, though. But I never let myself look at her for too long. Gradually, my shadow seems to change. It still looks like me in silhouette, but it's like there's another person layered over. I have the horrible feeling it's Lily.
Part of me feels guilt for this play act we perform, all mixed up with the guilt I feel for having any feelings in the first place. I thought maybe it would start to go away after we did this a few times, but it's barely made a dent. Instead, it feels like I've made Winter culpable for my desires too, which feels... Winter senses something is wrong and turns her attention from my shadow to me. Do you want to stop? For a moment, it's difficult to talk with her fingers in my mouth, but then the fog clears, and I remember she's only touching my shadow.
Okay, so it is as heavy as I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they're doing.
I
was just saying whatever they're doing is as heavy as I thought.
Do you want me to stop?
I don't know feels like an appropriate answer.
Yeah, that's fine. Winter draws back, kneeling in front of me on the bed.
Kayfabe has been broken.
Nice!
And I see the three of us as if from above. Sorry, I saw the wrestling words and I had to jump in.
Let's go!
My shadow and Winter backing away from each other, like guilty teens caught in a cupboard.
I was in a cupboard.
And myself watching the two of them from barely a foot away. The clothes Winter picked out for me barely register until I realize I'm cold. I've been cold for some time and never noticed.
You don't seem as into it today.
I mean, it seems like not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know about all this.
She looks at me for a moment, then starts hunting around for her hoodie. You don't think it's working? I honestly can't answer. It's difficult to even know what I think. Everything feels like muddy water. I curl my knees up to my chest and sit like that for a minute on the bed. The underwear Winter gave me to wear digs at the end at the sides, making it hard to breathe.
Do you really feel like it's helping you at all?
She turns to look back at me, unsure for a moment. Am I getting anything out of this? Does watching you be comfortable with feeling attractive help me? I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel anything about it either way, but I don't say it. Winter's eyes are hollow as she looks at me. They don't burn. It's difficult to tell. Knowing someone else can do what I can't isn't having the revelatory effect I thought it might. I laugh into my knees and let myself unfurl again, lying down and looking at the ceiling. Winter sits on the bed again.
When I watch you fuck my shadow, it feels like there's some quality that you have and I don't. Like someone gave you permission to feel these things, and that makes it all right.
I hear her take a sip of water and sigh. I suppose you gave me permission. Maybe that's all it is.
There's the cheeky answer, too.
I know what consent is.
Nah, we should be nice.
Yeah.
Glad you can feel that.
I mean, it's more like one partner gives permission to the other so they can feel vulnerable.
She looks away. Is there a difference? What if they don't do the same? Oh, those are the options.
Yeah, Red. That's not the same as being vulnerable. It's not the same as feeling safe being vulnerable. And if you don't get to feel that, if you don't both get that, then you have something deeply unbalanced. One person bearing their soft little heart and the other stepping on it like a snail on wet pavement.
I pull a face and she grins back. She can't help it. Are you scared of that? She doesn't reply straight away. I can hear the clock ticking as we sit on her bed in silence.
I mean, you have to face your fears, don't you?
I guess isn't that what we're doing? Or so I hear, or do you?
I mean, you don't really, but I guess that is what you're doing. Well, yeah, but...
She trails off for a moment, lost for what to say. She stands up and turns to face me.
I've got a date.
A date? She shrugs. It doesn't come across as nonchalant so much as evasive.
That's what this has all been for, right? Guess it must be working. You let me see how it feels to be comfortable in your own skin, and I put it into practice.
Is it the guy you mentioned before?
She nods, holding my gaze defiantly, as if she's waiting for some criticism.
I don't have anything to say. But for a moment I could feel it as sharp as ice. I feel angry and bitter and broken that Winter has found more in our hookups than I have. That she's going to outpace me and leave me on my own. This isn't a respite for me. It's not healing me. It's not helping. I feel something cold wrap around my hands as my shadow comes in closer to hug me, embrace me. Winter's eyes widened very slightly.
In a moment, a sentence or two, I could crush whatever tiny ember of confidence she's trying to keep alive, tell her that everything she's begged me for will never work, as if she could really learn to be comfortable from me, learn to love herself from me, when I can't even keep all of myself together. But I know the urge is terrible, some monstrous thought that's gone as quickly as it came. I'm not angry at her, really, just me. So I find the words.
Good for you. Hey, I thought that was the end of the act.
Nice. Act 3.
Alright, yeah, this definitely feels like a 3-act structure.
Yep.
Curious to see where this goes. I hope this doesn't end their friendship.
I mean, if it does, that's okay.
Nah. My phone drags me out of a stupor as it rings. It's nearly midnight and my tea has gone cold, forgotten as I drift off. God, I don't want to talk to her, not tonight. But it's nearly midnight and Winter's calling me. We should answer. Don't be salty. Hello? The sound on the other end of the line is crying. Winter, are you okay? There's a pause and she lets out a shaking breath. Oh no, please don't let this be.
No. Can I come over?
Winter huddles at the end of my bed, her legs drawn up to her chest. I place a glass next to her and join her on the bed, near but not close. Sorry, it's this. All I've got is cheap vodka. Winter's necks it in one, and her shoulders hunch up as she makes a face. Then she stares down at the empty glass in her hands and talks, so I listen.
I went to see the boy, finally, like I said. We had food and some drinks, and he seemed nice, interested, you know? He listened to me. It felt really good to get that attention, and I liked him. I don't know.
What happened, or keep listening?
I think you should keep listening. Winter swallows. We went back to my flat, and we started to make out. It felt so good at first to be desired. I felt confident, and he was so complimentary. I thought it meant I was attractive. I thought I could live with it if that's how it felt.
Go on.
But it felt wrong, gradually. Like he was no longer seeing the person I'd been earlier, talking and flirting and being human, you know? It felt like he was just looking at me and seeing a trans girl, an archetype. No, that's too kind a word. A cut of meat that he liked. And I wondered if he'd ever seen me as anything different.
Did he hurt you?
No, nothing like that. But I thought maybe that I just had to endure it? That this is just how it feels, right? I hated it more and more as it went on, but I couldn't tear myself away. In case I stopped just before it suddenly started to feel right. But it never felt right. It never did. And when he finally finished, he couldn't even look at me. He didn't look at me the same even when he left. Like there was a distance, or like it was an act. Yep.
Alright, we gotta find this guy and beat him up, Alex.
Alright.
I reach out and touch her shoulder. Winter flinches a little, but doesn't push my hand away. You deserve better, Winter.
Damn right, Winter.
She sniffs and looks at my face for a moment.
I can still feel his hands on me. Like a drop of dye in water.
She grabs my hand suddenly.
Can you drown him out for me, Meredith?
Oh, it's going there, alright. What do you mean?
She pulls me towards her by the arm. Her grip is soft and bitterly cold, but it's comforting too. And when my hand reaches her skin, have I ever actually touched her like this? I can feel my shadow stir next to me, remembering. If I have to keep feeling someone's hands on me, I won't mind if it's you, Red. I don't want to believe you see me the same way he did.
Yeah, this feels like I'm not against these two getting together, but this definitely doesn't feel like good timing.
Yeah.
This is too vulnerable of a moment.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
That's good. Help me forget then, please. I'll tell you what to do, what he did. Just like the other times, like I did for you.
My shadow guides my hand to her neck, and I don't fight it. Winter twitches my fingertips, brush her skin, willing herself to stay still.
He started with my blouse.
Take it off, tear it off, or hesitate.
Either hesitate or take it off. What do you want to do?
God, this is difficult. It's like I don't want to hurt her feelings, but also
Take it off.
don't want to take advantage of her.
Winter's hands join my own, working with mine to shrug off her blouse. Her skin is so smooth. Out of the corner of my eye, I see her look at my face, watching me, waiting.
You're pretty. You've never shown me before.
Red.
Touch her stomach, touch her bra, or wait.
Wait. She said she'd tell you what to do.
Yeah. I look up at her, waiting for some kind of sign it's okay.
Please.
Okay, now we do it.
Touch your stomach.
Yeah. I let my fingers drop to her stomach, tracing them along her side. When I touch her, Winter instinctively moves away, as if I've pushed. She makes a squashed little nose and closes her eyes.
Nose. She makes a squash nose.
Like you can't see what I'm doing, but like.
All right, it feels strange to lead this dance. My shadow wraps itself around me, its hands on the back of my own. I can feel its heart beating through me. I think about how Winter did this before to my shadow. I wonder if that's how she wants me to act, or...
Tell me what to do feels appropriate.
She takes a deep breath, recounting. He had rough hands. They never stayed in one place long enough to get used to.
Nothing like Winter's. I don't think we should... Is there somewhere you want me to touch you?
Winter hesitates. Without saying anything, she takes my hand between both of hers and guides it to her neck. I run my thumb along the line where her skin turns to bone. Her breath catches as her fingers trace up her jaw and come to rest on her cheekbone.
You're warm.
You know how your shadow felt? Like a real person, soft to the touch.
She raises her own hand to touch my face in return, her thin fingers mirroring mine on her cheek. Then she shifts her hand to my shadow instead, watching over my shoulder, and touches its cheek. I feel the fuzzy impression of it again, like static. I think we should say it feels familiar.
Sure. Do you think it's really part of us? Or is your shadow in my face just some kind of delusion?
Winter tugs the shadow by the collar, and I fall forward with it, pinning her to the bed. She takes my hand and hesitantly guides it back to her neck. I oblige. She covers her eyes with the back of a hand.
I never know if people can't see my skull, or if they just don't care.
Would it be so bad if they couldn't? She peeks through her fingers at me. I've never seen her so fragile.
I'm scared of someone being attracted to just that part of me, to that part of me. Like, I might ruin myself by revealing that I'm human too, and it's too much to bear for both of us.
They might love you for it. Feels good, though.
They might. Could you?
Feels weird to want you for something that causes you pain. But I guess I do.
Show me then. Prove it.
She moves her hand away and I meet her gaze. It feels like I'm falling. A bird losing its feathers as it tumbles through the sky. Winter wants the dark part of me and I want hers. If it's a delusion, my shadow in your skull, then it's one that's real to both of us. She grasps my hand gently again and guides it higher to her eye socket.
If it's a delusion, what did you say just now? Would that be so bad?
Oh, Act 4.
Oh.
Okay.
I can hear Winter's breathing next to me, and I realize I'm awake. I open my eyes, and the two of us are in my bed still. She's asleep, facing away from me, slightly curled up. And as I start to rise, I realize I can see her face.
Okay, I think I see where this is going. I hope this is where I'm going. We will get
see.
a happy ending after all, Alex.
Oh, well, I hope so. I want a happy ending for all of these.
Everything feels at peace. I sit there quietly for a few minutes, watching her sleep. It's just the two of us. For the first time, I can't feel my shadow behind me, watching. It's as if I've carried a backpack for so long I forgot, and then it finally took off.
Karui desu ne.
Karui kana.
Karui kanji.
When I eventually get up, Winter doesn't stir, but as the kettle boils, I hear.
Red?
Called back and returned with 2 mugs of coffee. Winter's sitting, rubbing her eye sockets, her skull once again staring back at me. She's smiling. I don't say anything. Where her blouse has fallen up, I can see the bruises on her neck, and my stomach twists a little, satisfaction against guilt. When I pass her the mug of coffee, my shadow's right back again, cradling my arm like a splint. But it doesn't feel as heavy anymore. Ah, okay.
Yay.
That was a cute but realistic ending.
Be kind to yourselves. I love it. Thank you
Winter.
very much for the writing, art, and music, Freya Campbell. And the code, writing, and design by Elliot Harriman was fantastic. Thank you guys so much. I feel like there's not really a less authentic way to there's not really like a more authentic way, that was like excruciatingly authentic. It's like you have that moment of, yep, that's where I am, that's life.
Well, it's the whole you can reduce some of your traumas, but they never 100% go away.
Right. I mean, you are the sum total of your experiences and all that, for sure. At the same time, the ideal is...
Or someday they might go away, but definitely not all in one night.
Right, but the ideal is learning to live with it,
Mm-hmm.
And learning to be kind to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciate this game. It's definitely interesting playing it as a cis person.
That's fair. I really like it.
But I like it. It feels like it wasn't written for me, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially right now, there's a lot of media about trans people, but not by trans people or for trans people.
Right. Not necessarily by trans people or for trans people. And I don't know if the creator is trans, but it's definitely something that, like, the trans girls or trans people in my life at all definitely should play. Because people do need to be kinder to themselves.
All right. Anyways, this feels like a good time to call it.
Thank you
Have a
guys
good
for
one,
watching.
y'all.